Hi, I'm Ken German, Senior Managing Editor here at CNET. Today we're going to take a first look at the Motorola Droid Razr HD. Now this device came out with the Droid Razr Maxx HD at the same time. The devices are very similar, except of course the Maxx, like the original Razr Maxx, has a much bigger battery, so it means it lasts much longer. But overall, I do like the design a lot. It is a little heavy, but it has a really nice, solid, and sturdy feel in the hand. So it is a 4.7-inch display, so it's going to be a little larger than you may be used to. Like I said, it's a little heavy, so you definitely notice it when you're carrying it around. It does have a Kevlar backing, so it is hopefully going to be strong if you drop it. At least that's what Motorola is promising. Also, there's Gorilla Glass covering the display, so you should be protected there as well. Now, I asked Motorola, okay, this is a Razr. What makes it a Razr? What makes a phone a Razr that goes back to the original Razr V3, of course, which is the original thin phone? They said a couple of things. They said thin design. Well, it certainly has that. They said a lot of power. It does have that. It has a 1.5 gigahertz processor. That's dual core, has LTE, and it just brings something high-end to the table. And I think this phone, in both its design and its features, does do all of those things. Now, the phone right now is ice cream sandwich. Now that's a little disappointing considering Jelly Bean has been out for a while. Motorola says we'll upgrade to Jelly Bean by the end of the year. That's not a long time to wait, but hopefully it will happen sooner rather than later. Like a lot of Android phones, you could personalize the display with all the icons you want, with folders, with widgets. You can go through different home screens. One thing I like is that if you go over to this side, you can get the access to the quick settings right there. One thing that Motorola added, now this isn't really an Android skin, so you're not going to have to sift through a lot of things, is these circles right up here in the front. So it's nice you can see the time, you can see the weather, you can see the battery life. If you flip on them, it will go between different clock styles. Right here I have weather for San Francisco, but if I flip it, I can get Washington, D.C. Of course, I program those things. If you want, you can flip it again. You can add more cities. You can flip the battery as well to go directly to settings or to see the battery life. So I like that it shows the percentage, and I like that icon of the circle, you know, as it gets smaller. So it just gives you an idea. Motorola says it will be up to 16 hours talk time and up to maybe over 20 hours of multi-use time. So that means, you know, you're going to maybe watching a short video, you're going through apps, you're typing, you're looking at the browser. Of course, you have the big display on. If it's up to a brighter setting, if you're using a lot of GPS, if you keep using that dual-core processor, it will run down. But it's a very promising battery life. Certainly not as long as the Razr Maxx, but certainly more than a lot of phones we've seen. It does have an 8-megapixel camera. Of course, like I said, it has LTE. It has all the things you might expect from an Android phone and a smartphone, with Wi-Fi, with Bluetooth, with organizer features. One thing that's interesting is the phone, of course, has a browser, but you'll see that it's labeled directly as Chrome. So it's not that it's something other kind of browser, just has some Chrome touches. The Chrome browser does bring a couple of options. It brings tabbed browsing. Of course, you can sync it with other devices where you've signed in using your Chrome ID. So that's a nice touch. A few more elements to tell you about the design. There's a volume rocker on this side. There's a power control right above. Over on this side, you'll see the micro USB port, so that's for data syncing and also for the charger. And below that is an HDMI out port. One thing that's important about this phone is the battery is not user removable, so you can't take it out, you can't swap it out if it goes bad, you will have to send it in. But the trade-off of not having the user removable battery is just that little bit of a thinner design. The Droid Razr HD is $199 with a contract, and the Droid Razr Maxx is going to be $299, so if you're interested in a little bit of a more budget device, probably the one for you. I'm Ken German, here with a first look at the Motorola Droid Razr HD.